First off, thank you, Elaine, for that introduction. I've been so blessed to have you as a roommate, confidant, and best friend. You truly inspire me every day with your strength of character and upstanding morals. Also, thank you to all of you who came to support me today. I'm very grateful. The first thing I did in preparing for this chapel was ask my dad, who's a minister, if he had any advice. And he simply said, keep it short and sweet, so that's what I intend to try to do. I'm not sure there's any way to truly express how much I owe this school and my fellow peers, or to stress how important of a stop Westminster College has been on my journey that will continue after I walk across that senior terrace in May. This chapel is my attempt at showing my gratitude for the experiences and lessons learned here and on the path that brought me here. My chapel will focus on the importance of this journey we call life and living in the moment knowing you are exactly where you are meant to be. None of this is meant to sound like I have all the answers either, because the topics I'm going to touch on are very much the things I struggle with most sometimes. And perhaps this chapel was partially a way for me to think through these ideas. Either way, here it goes. As my passage, I'm going to use St. Teresa's prayer, so I'll read that now. May today there be peace within. May you trust God that you are exactly where you are meant to be. May you not forget the infinite possibilities that are born of faith. May you use those gifts that you've received and pass on the love that has been given to you. May you be content knowing you are a child of God. Let this presence settle into your bones and allow your soul the freedom to sing, dance, praise, and love. It is there for each and every one of us. I want to focus on 3 specific lines. May you trust God that you are exactly where you are meant to be. May you not forget the infinite possibilities that are born of faith. And may you use those gifts you have received and pass on the love that has been given to you. I'm going to use some loose narratives of some somewhat trying times in my life where I learned some very valuable lessons pertaining to these messages. My parents say I was born with an old soul and a furrowed brow, but even they could not have foreseen my newfound understanding of mortality at the age of 7. Perhaps it was a movie that made me realize how fleeting life is. To be frank, I don't remember what it was. I do, however, remember my dad, in his very spiritual wisdom, sitting down with me, holding my hand and saying, I'm afraid sometimes too, but you can't spend your life worrying away the years. You have to live in the present. The present is a gift, and you will have opportunities to use your own unique talents and gifts you have to change the world in your own small way. I learned of loss in a very personal way at the age of 12 when my cousin passed away. This is when I truly realized how fleeting life is. And if you don't live life to the fullest, realizing the blessing of the moment, then you will end up with nothing but regret. It was in that time in my life I found an even greater purpose for seizing every day. I take a hold of life for not only myself, but for my cousin and the beautiful life he did not get to live out. And I live with a thought that comes from Walt Disney's Pocahontas is just around the river bend. To be safe, we lose our chance of ever knowing what's around the river bend. As far as the infinite possibilities born of faith, I can think of no better example than this summer when a tornado hit my town. Both of our family cars were totaled, our electricity was down, and we had minor house damage. And yet, with this swirling wind that was this tornado, and my thoughts of what could have been, I held on to the only things that mattered in the aftermath, my family, and hoped and prayed for the best. My faith and prayers were answered when our church family and friends showed up as soon as the safety warning was lifted to lend a hand in any way possible. These people used their specific gifts as well, whether we needed an electrician, tree cutter, someone to cook, or someone for moral support. They used their gifts and passed on the love they had received onto our overwhelmed but ultimately supremely thankful family. Lastly, I grew up more than I could have ever known coming to Westminster College from Elmira, New York. In fact, the distance almost scared me totally out of coming the week before I was supposed to leave. But I summoned up my courage and meditated on the quote by Eleanor Roosevelt, "The only thing to fear is fear itself." Nonetheless, when I first arrived, I was a nervous wreck and didn't know anyone. I quickly realized the adjustment period might take a while. But through the infinite possibilities born of my blind faith on arriving here, I have done more than I could have ever imagined. Here at Westminster, by zooming in on moments and people that have made my heart happy, I have seen God's work shine through. In the grand scheme of things, this is not a big chunk of time in my life, but the people and this campus have shaped me in ways I could never verbalize with any sort of eloquence. I have so many people to thank for the love and support I have received, whether it be my sisters, which is someone who grew up with one brother I never thought I would have, who show me daily that love is truly the greatest of all things. My friends, the faculty that has stood behind me, and my family that will always be my rock. And as Elmira resident Mark Twain once said, 20 years from now, you will be more disappointed by the things you didn't do than by the things you did. So throw off the bowlines, sail away from the safe harbor, catch the trade winds in your sails, explore, dream, discover. Most importantly, I hope and wish you all come away from this with the realization that life is not a race. You don't have to reach the destination or goal in great glory. Most of the time, all we can do is live life the best we can with the God-given gifts we have received. Now I will end with a benediction my dad uses at the end of every sermon. I realize I am just one stitch in the fabric of faith. You make up the patchwork quilt that spreads God's love and warmth to this world. May God bless us all on this journey we call faith.